Let's have a look at one clip from the Young Leaders debate from tonight. It is the conversation that they had with primarily the New Zealand First, which is this dude here, New Zealand First candidate, when they were asking about their education policies. They're basically saying, no point for me to really say it, New Zealand First has no education policies out other than the penis patrol. They don't use those words, obviously. That's the only thing you've put out, and that was kind of where the conversation went.
New Zealand First, your only education policy is removing gender ideology from the curriculum. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's a really, really important thing because we've been inundated by really concerned parents that usually are big party kind of voters. And they're sick and tired of the backwards and forwards kind of do nothing about it that they see. And there are very,
fuck does that even mean?
Nothing.
Complex, sexual, inappropriate kind of discussions happening at school.
That's Chloe.
Well,
Name one.
Okay, the Free Speech Union just said today, or yesterday, sorry, that primary school kids now are going to be disciplined if they don't affirm other primary school kids' genders.
Okay, not true. Okay, not true.
Not.
But that's not what the Free Speech Union even said. The Free Speech Union has pointed out, has made an allegation that one primary school in East Auckland has said this, and the Free Speech Union has used the word discipline. Now, you might not be surprised, Chewy, but I've already been in touch with the principal of that school, and I've asked for them to come on and clear it up, because my suspicions are the Free Speech Union is exaggerating, putting their own terminology in there, is trying to make a deal out of it. Because as we all know from now, the Free Speech Union is just a psyop for right-wing talking points. Because yes, they might support drag queens and libraries once, but then the other 99 things they support are all right-wing talking points, and that's all they're about. So what he's actually said is not what the Free Speech Union said. They've pointed to one school and they've made an allegation, right? They haven't said in schools now. So that I just want to point out that A, that's wrong, and B, I'll feed you baby birds. I'm onto that one too.
This is madness. So
and it's not
civics is very important, right? And we need to go back to know who we are as a country and where we fit in the world and what we stand for.
But
and one of
that's
the
not
things
your
we
policy.
stand for is free speech.
Or respect?
Exactly, respect for free speech, which you don't have, right? And cancel culture. We can't shut people up because it hurts our feelings. Everyone has a right to speak.
I think you're talking about consequences, bro.
No.
Bro, she called him bro.
No, I'm not talking about consequences. But we want education, not indoctrination, right? We want to invest. We see young people as an investment in this country. I mean, our own leader, Winston Peters, came from poverty, right, up north. He went all the way to Deputy Prime Minister and Acting Prime Minister.
All right, we are going to stay on the topic of gender. This year, the disinformation...
So this is the host, yeah? This is actually a TVNZ journalist. I'm just pointing that out, not out of disrespect for her, but she asked a pretty straight-up question that doesn't sound like the kind of question you'd have a journalist ask.
Project reported a surge in online hate towards rainbow communities that was so extreme, it was described as genocidal. Most of it has been directed at the trans community, while a lot of the political conversation has been focused on bathrooms. Lee, your party leader, Winston Peters, wants a new law banning anyone from accessing a public bathroom or changing room designed for the opposite sex use. According to the Williams Institute, trans people are 4 times more likely than cisgender people to be victims of violent crime, and trans and non-binary teenagers face a higher risk of sexual assault in schools that prevent them from using bathrooms consistent with their gender identity, according to another study. So where is your evidence that this is a safety issue?
Well, there is evidence of, girls. I mean, we've got Lorraine Moller, one of the great Olympians of New Zealand, who's come out and endorsed New Zealand First.
Just before he goes, just so you know, he doesn't understand what the word evidence means. So I'm just telling you, he doesn't understand what evidence means.
Because of our stance on speaking up for women, standing up for women's rights, women's spaces. So what's happening is, and I didn't know this until I heard Lorraine tell me this, she said she's championed her whole life to get women into sports. Now you've got biological men participating in female sports, blowing them away in their changing spaces. And what it's doing is it's discouraging women from actually participating now into sports.
Though, on the topic of public bathrooms,
yes.
Where is your evidence?
There's studies all over. We have people basically saying to us, hey, I was assaulted in a bathroom by a biological male. This is wrong. And, you have biological men getting changed in women's spaces, and
So
it's scaring women.
So you
And
have anecdotal
everyone-
evidence, but
No.
you don't have.
I don't have the
concrete
statistics in
studies
front of
that you
you
can
right
point to,
now,
or that you-
but it's a true thing. It's a real thing. We're not on another planet. There are a lot of people concerned with this, not just in New Zealand, all over the world. And we want to stand up for women. We want to stand up for women's spaces. We want to make sure everyone's safe.
With your bathroom
Here we
policy,
go.
particularly at schools, how are you going to enforce it? Are you going to get teachers to do genital checks at the door, or?
What a stupid question. No, I think.
Then
I think
how?
That's ridiculous. And
How
making
will
a
you enforce
mockery
it?
out
How
of
will-
this
how
and
will you
women's
enforce it?
spaces is just uncalled for. And the pendulum's gone so far to the radical left. You think this is normal? This is not normal. All
How
we're
will
doing
you
is
Yes,
sticking
enforce
up
your
Chloe.
for
policy?
women.
Yes.
If you want a new law, how are you going to enforce it?
We're not
In
gonna have-
schools?
Look, bathrooms are already unisex, male and female, right? We're just going to say, hey, we're not going to accept this because there are people on the outliers that aren't just, really nice people. They do this for a reason.
All right, Chloe, what's your response to that?
Here we go.
If you want to talk about the actual stats and the actual evidence and the actual data, what we know full well is that our trans and non-binary and gender minority whānau are disproportionately represented in mental ill health, addiction and suicide statistics.
Yes, and we don't want to encourage
And mate, it's driven by rhetoric from the likes of your party.
No, it's not.
And I expect
It's driven
our political
by
leaders-
rhetoric by your party, which is encouraging it in young children. That's why we want to remove
no,
it from schools.
you are.
More
This kind of
kids
stuff.
now
No, you are.
Uno
transgendering
reverso.
or
Very good.
transitioning than ever before.
And the gays
Because-
came out the closet only like 40 odd
Look,
years ago or something.
You've got
Just take a second.
There's actually a lot of
Take a s-
lesbians and a lot of gays that are actually against.
Are you talking on behalf of the women and the lesbos now? Just let me have a moment, please.
No. I was invited to talk at a speaking
No, I was
event.
just invited to
When
talk.
everybody talks at once, it feels too hectic. So,
Yeah.
Chloe, if you can finish your point, and then I know, Hannah, that you had your hand up, so we'll go to you after. Chloe.
Well, speaking on behalf of the woke lesbos, what I do have to say is that
not what I
ultimately, well, no, I did.
Yes, you did.
Because yes, exactly, and the rhetoric and the fear-mongering behind the likes of what you and your party are putting forward are harming people in our communities because it is not evidence-based. And ultimately, I think that there is a responsibility for political leaders to turn down the temperature on this and to take responsibility for the consequences of their rhetoric,
Turn
which
down
are
the temperature
hurting
by
people
taking it out
in
of
our
schools.
communities.
Little kids don't need to be
Mate,
exposed
pay
to
All right, I would
attention
like
to the
to-
actual evidence here.
That is
Listen
the
to the
evidence.
academics.
I'm going to
And they're
smash the
getting
buzzer.
confused.
If we talk over each other, I'm
need the ability
genuinely
to
going
agree
to...
to disagree. I think it's important that people,
I'm not going to deny people's existence, I'm sorry.
All right,
That's the
we
bottom
don't
line.
There you
deny
go.
anyone.
That'll be the end of it for that clip from tonight. So there you go. There's your queen. Your thoughts on your queen?
God damn. If ever I did something so bad that has Chloe going, mate,
Yeah.
pause,
Yeah.
I would just want the earth to open up and swallow me whole because I fucked up real bad.
He's got dry mouth, says Kyrie.
He's got dry everything. Like the man's so dry. Dry, dusty balls because he's been hanging out with New Zealand First too fucking long. Oh, he's like he came from like the New Zealand conservative subreddit, which is the most toxic place I've ever seen.
Here's something I thought just today watching it again now. And this is kind of the Winston Peters rhetoric issue. Maybe that guy does believe all of that. Like maybe that, I don't know his name, sorry. I'm not particularly interested in learning his name.
I don't
But
think we'll have to, Pat.
But maybe he believes that. Like that. Don't they have a candidate in Tauranga or something that believes in all the conspiracy, anti-vax, this sort of stuff? Because what he's been spouting, he will not only be drawing voters to him of that ilk, but potentially candidates and stuff as well. So whilst I do not believe that Winston is in that camp of personal belief, he is drawing people to him. That might be that guy's genuine belief. I was a bit disparaging before saying he's just spouting off the rhetoric. Maybe he does believe it because that's who will be coming towards New Zealand First now, rather than Liz Gunn's party, or rather than Democracy New Zealand, or rather than Brian Tamaki's party. If they want to have their vote counted, they might be going towards Winston. So maybe he does believe it, which is actually on some level even scarier.
Yeah, I want to comment as well on just people that are not ready for the heat that they're going to attract,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
So like that was their one education policy, was about bathrooms. Would you not be prepared? Would you not be across? Would you not have something more than anecdotal fucking bullshit that you can't back up? When you're going to come in front of Chloe and have a position that is bad, you will be told. And you know, if you push back against some bullshit numbers, she's got the actual numbers.
Well, that's
But,
what I was going to say as well.
Christ, I've never seen someone just like, oh.
You better come with proper
Far
receipts.
out.
You better come with proper receipts if you're going to play Let's Compare the Research with Chloe Swarbrick. That's all I'd say.
Actually, this is the comment. This is the comment. Homie's too used to his right-wing echo chambers.
Maybe
100%. If you only exist in your own echo chamber, and right-wing, left-wing, whatever, right? If you just talk to people that are going to agree with you, then you don't have to be across this shit, right? You just have people going, yeah, you know, right on, man. Like this is why you need to pierce your bubble every now and then. But yeah, for a potential political operator to, like, you heard the applause in that room, man. Like, read the room. The room's fucking telling you.
Well, that'd be tough for that position from that political party though, because the room is a young person's one. They're all going to be university students and stuff there. So he would know anyone with a contrary opinion would come up against that. I agree with you about reading the room, but that I don't think also that means political parties play to the room if they believe the complete opposite either. So yeah, you know, no, but ill prepared, you know, and like I said, the bro and the mate from a sitting MP, probably of those minor younger MPs, the most effective one as well. You know, she's a machine, just amazing.